Oh, now you're recording.
Hello, Devlin here, and I'm here not alone, as you can tell. I don't know how much you heard of that, but I am here with a co-host, and I haven't had one in a couple weeks. And he's actually the first guest I have since I rebranded the name of the show. He probably didn't even know I did that.
No, I did.
Did you?
I did.
Oh my God, he's stalking me on Facebook.
Someone's got to stalk you.
Yeah, he's breaking the rules because you know who it is because he's not supposed
You're
to talk.
You're asking me questions!
Yeah, I know. I'm setting him up. Anyhow, you're listening to Devlin's Mondo Nostalgia Radio Show, and this man doesn't need an introduction. He's been on the show like 3 times, I think. And we haven't had him on for, I think it's been over a year. I think it was Christmas with Josh was the last time. And that wasn't last Christmas, so it's been over a year. It's Andrew Hops.
Hello. Thank you so much. This is exciting. This is out in the wilderness.
Yes, we're doing a Renegade one now. Andrew and I did do one before where we were actually driving around looking for ladies of the night.
Ladies of the night, yes.
And we are now here at, we're not sure, we're deciding if it's off of Bayfront Park or if it's on Pier 4 or something, but we're here and we just decided to whip out the little tape machine. I don't think this is a tape machine.
It's actually pretty cool though.
I know.
I don't know. Have I seen this one?
Yes, this is the one we use.
Oh, was it?
But it was always in my hand.
Wow.
You've never noticed it when I'm just...
You always have other stuff in your hands when I'm talking. So.
And I wanted to... We've actually haven't been able to get together a lot. So we've seen each other in passing and we talk on Facebook. So we kind of... that's not me opening a condom package, if you hear that.
It's all bareback for us.
Sorry, I just have some garbage I'm trying to hide so it doesn't make too much noise. Anyhow, it's chaotic, and it's always chaotic when Andrew is here. And
I think that is a compliment. I think within chaos brings beauty. And that's what I hope.
You're like the chaos theory guy, Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park.
Is that
Do you remember that? Yeah.
Which one?
Great. I've got him on the Mondo Nostalgia show.
No, but I love, first off,
Have
my
you
mom
seen
loves
Jurassic Park?
My mom, I don't know if I ever told you this, my mom loves Jurassic Park.
No, I did not know this.
She's a big, big fan. Like, she'll watch it about 4 or 5 times a year.
Wow.
And she'll watch the other ones, too.
Have you ever seen it?
Me? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you had to have seen it. Your mom's must have forced you at least once to...
Oh, yeah. She would, she shoved my face right on the
What is it
screen.
about she likes it, do you think?
Probably the bones. She likes the big dinosaur bone.
I love the movie. I'm not questioning why she likes it. It's a great film. But is there anything particular? Is she I
don't know.
Does she like Jeff Goldblum? Or?
No, I don't think she even knows who he is, to be honest.
Well, she does if she's in Jurassic Park.
She wouldn't be like, oh, that's Jeff Goldblum. She would be like, whatever his character
look at the
name
dinosaurs.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Malcolm. Yeah, he's that sexy shot. He's got that sexy shot that...
So is that the Chaos Theory? Is that when they're in the car in the water?
Yes, and he's the Chaos Theory guy.
I don't know what the Chaos Theory is, though.
Chaos... I should know it. I've seen... my friend Damien would kill me right now. He loves Jurassic Park. It's like when one small little thing happens and it causes major effects.
I see.
So you're the Chaos Theory guy here because you've already taken over my show, I feel.
Oh, I apologize.
No, you're welcome to. I think after a certain amount, you get some leeway. So.
Okay.
And I like that singing you were doing beforehand.
It was
tell you're getting
erotic.
It was
erotic.
For yourself? Or?
Well, whatever happened.
It's weird to just, say it was erotic when I sang to you. Now, I was going to say, talking about what you've been up to, you're still with the understudies. They're doing amazing. And you guys have got into musical improv.
Yeah.
Is this getting you to sing more?
We are going to be singing we're in the Fringe Festival this year, our third time in the Fringe. And we're doing our show called Way Off Broadway, and it's all an improv musical comedy show. So it's going to be fun. It's been a lot of fun. We did some class at Second City for the music. And then we did our first one about a month ago, 2 months. And then we're ready to go. We're ready to blow. As they say.
You're not great at promoting improv shows, are you?
Not the best.
Because I didn't remember that on a poster. We're ready to go, ready to blow.
No, that was on my other poster.
Because that can either sound dirty or you don't want to blow when you do a show. Because that could say...
No, you do.
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah.
No, I mean, well, maybe depends what kind of show you're doing if you want. Depends on who's doing the blowing.
That would be Hamilton Fringe for anybody who's just listening. I just realized we've told them we're at Bayfront Park, but for people who don't know, we live in the Hamilton area. You're in Hamilton, aren't you?
Yeah, oh yeah. I have recently moved though.
And how's that going?
It has been going. It was a process. It was really not. It was something we hadn't planned, and it just happened, and it's been exciting. But
it's starting to feel like home.
It's starting to feel like home finally. Yeah.
Now, do you? This is putting you on the spot. I asked the hard questions.
Well, I've got hard body.
Are you going to be one of those people like you and Brandy, where you move every 5 years? Or are you looking for this is our home now? This is going to be our home for as long as we possibly want it to be. Because some people, some people move hop. And I have theories on that, but I just wondered if you think you're going to be one of those people.
I don't personally think that it wasn't like an idea like we had to move. Yeah. It was like we actually found another house and put an offer on, and the home inspection failed. And then we had put our house on the market, our own, because we had to, you have to be gone by a certain time. You have to have all the ducks in a row. And then after that home inspection failed, we were like, Brandy's like, should we take off our house? Because we did love it. It was our, it's your first home and everything. But I was like, you know what? It's on the market now. Like, it's not. We don't have to sell it. We love it. And
you just decided.
We decided to keep looking. And that same night, Brandy was looking on the computer. I was on my phone, and we both found the same house. Yeah, honestly. And then we showed each other, and we're like, oh yeah. And then the next time, I'm gonna drop another Kelly bomb. Get ready for your pants to be wet. We went over there. I think we had breakfast or something like that.
Kelly Bob, do you want to explain to them?
Well, this is a person that we both know.
Right, we mentioned her the last time we went driving around. Apparently, every time we drive around, we think of Kelly. We should get Kelly in the car sometime.
We should. It should be exciting. It'll be fun.
Okay, so Kelly Bomb.
So Kelly Bomb. So we went for breakfast, and then we actually drove while we were going to her place for breakfast. We drove by a sign that said open house. So we drove by the sign. We're like, oh, where is it? And it's in the area we've always wanted to live in. And it happened to be that fucking house that we both found the night before, that they were doing an open house that Sunday. And the Kelly bomb was Kelly watched Molly, because our dog had to be out of the house for our open house that was happening. Yeah. And we put an offer on that night, and we got accepted that night. So it really was meant to be.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it.
Yeah,
I was just interested. I don't think I'm getting personal.
No, you can get personal.
It's weird sitting in a car doing this. Now, we've done this before, but we were driving around, but this is kind of neat.
Yeah,
This should be a new show. I should just jump into people's cars and interview them, even if I don't know them.
That'd be a good idea.
So what else is in the new world of Andrew?
Oh, Lord. Besides that, just getting back into normalcy of life. Started to write again. I've taken a bit of a hiatus from writing. And
have you heard anything more about, is it Across All Galaxies?
That is something that my friend Elvis and I have been starting to do filming again for. So we're
so that is back on the table again.
Back on the table, yeah. We're just doing little short vignettes, and if you would like to see more, there's acrossallgalaxies.com. Do you mind?
Promote.
I was already going to shoot it out, and if you said no,
we'll get Corda to work her ass off and get a link if you'd like.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, so say it.
Acrossallgalaxies.com.
All right. Tell us again a little bit about it.
I'm a big conspiracy theorist, and I'm a big conspiracy theorist, and it's just, I love all the weird and type of news. Little known fact, if you want to ask one of my good friends, Chris MacLeod, back in grade 6, I used to write little short stories called Weird News, and it was just the most fucked up stuff that I could think of. And I always loved that kind of weird news kind of stuff. So, so it's anything that's weird and bizarre, and we have a great studio that we film in, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Excellent.
So anything that it can be, it can be. Right?
Do you think it's going to evolve to something? Are you still hoping?
You're
still passionate about
it is something I'm still passionate about, but it's something that it's like, if this is what it is, I like doing this. So like that, this script was never my baby. It was never my, my rectum baby or whatever you want to call it. Yes.
I don't know what that is, but I'm intrigued.
Well,
that could be a script in its own, Rectum Baby.
Rectum Baby.
But you feel that it's something you're passionate about now again.
Yeah, it is, and it's I don't know, like there's something else that I have a huge love for right now for a script that I'm writing. I started writing another great story that with Bill Dunphy, we're writing a script together. That's,
excellent.
Yeah, so there's a few things on the table, and
that's another person who was on my show once.
Check it out.
Look at that. I'm just not used to it. You know, I always think my podcast sort of make it about me again.
No,
but it is mine. Name is in the title, so I always find a way. But it's weird when you don't think you've done a lot in your life, even though I know I've done like improv shows and stuff. But then when you think, you know, my podcast is just like something, you know, I don't even think of it half the time. You know, I should promote that and stuff. And then I went to a 6-minute memoir one time, and I realized that 3 of the people in the thing were already on my show.
That's amazing.
And I thought to myself, yeah, I guess I have had a lot of people on my show and stuff. So.
Do you know how many guests altogether you've had?
No, but I've had a lot of repeat guests. Like you, this is like your 4th time or something. I think I want to say 4th time.
Yeah, it is my 4th because I did 2 and then 1 with Josh and then.
Right.
This would be number 4.
Yeah, and we're just going to talk about anything. Like we're not going to have a reason. And I'd like to get out and take a picture somewhere together if we can. I brought a camera with me. I don't know.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I don't know if I can do a selfie with it.
I have my camera too.
Okay, so we'll do that because we've done the car shots before. I think you and I have had weirder shots because we did the stairwell. We did the stairwell. Do you remember that? We did a photo shoot in because we were like, we got to do something different, and then you were one of the few people that have taken a picture while we're pretending we were in the studio.
Oh, right.
Because usually it's just me in my living room and that. So I would like to get some scenery to show that I actually leave my apartment occasionally and I have to put pants on.
Well, honestly, it's beautiful here.
We'll
paint the picture. There's flowing water.
Yeah, well, I'll get some shots. And then if you want to get some pictures of us to make us look good. You always look good, though. So.
Well, I did get a haircut today.
So are you allowed to talk about the Bill Dunphy script, or you don't want to jinx it?
No, I can. I mean, it was an idea.
Because you gave that bathtub story when you were doing kids. Now, that didn't show up anywhere, so...
No, and...
apparently I have 17 very loyal listeners, because not one of them ran with your idea. Because remember, even I told you, you're giving a lot away of the story, and you don't have a copyright on this yet, so...
I will tell you, I had an idea for a kids movie that... and this is going to sound fake, but another Kelly bomb is going to drop right now, so hold on to your...
Okay, I'm going to have to bring Kelly on.
Hold on to your britches!
Who is this Kelly person? She probably have great nursing stories. And I mean like she's a nurse, not like her like breastfeeding her children.
Those would be great stories as well.
But the pics would be weird because they're all grown up now. She hears this episode. She ain't coming anywhere near this show, but I don't think she's one of the 17 fans, so we're good.
Well, she's posted something on Facebook. This was about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was about her Roomba, that she lost her Roomba. And
what's that?
Roomba, the vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
So
I'm like Roomba lessons. Like, is that?
Oh no. No, and the script is basically a young vacuum Roomba cleaner that sets out on an adventure in life to find out its true calling, kind of thing. So basically, it's just a Roomba, and there's an old.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, so it's
if you could get like the company,
I know,
to sponsor it, they'd probably go for it.
And like the script is, I mean, we have the story, so we've worked out the story, and it's been a while, and I personally usually. I'm more quick to just get it out of me, and Bill takes a wonderful approach where he's more about backstory and more. So
that's a nice.
It is
mix. That's because if you wrote similar, sometimes that doesn't work. You almost need that 2 like halves.
Yeah,
instead of like 2 of the same halves.
And it's working really well. So it was one of those stories that just popped into your head, like I said, it popped into my head, and it's just been very prominent in my mind.
So. Now, you mentioned you have a lot of stories like that you write for kids. Now, what I would love to see is if you ever got one of these books published, because I know Andrew in different ways. As in, we talk about lots of things that we will not talk about on this thing, but we've talked about a lot of things that we shouldn't talk about on here anyhow. if you became like a kid's author, do you think you could like have that persona? Because you are very over the top, and you might frighten some kids.
I hope I would.
Some kids would also like be like, "Wow, this is the greatest guy ever," but others would be like, parents would be like, "Keep my kids away from that guy." So, do you ever fear if you became a child's author that you'd have to be this more?
I would love.
Hello, children.
Gather around my long hair and comb it.
Yeah, right there. See, that is a line that
if they can comb hair, then
parents don't want to hear you combing their author's hair. You just said one line, and you already probably broke a lot of like touching in inappropriate places.
When I was,
and I'm talking about the hair on your head.
Well, yeah, no, the other hair, that's trimmed.
Sorry, that was a very high pitched. Did you hear that scream?
I did.
I broke your window. Is that? Sorry, I don't know if it translates. That was a cackle. Sorry.
That's okay.
So you, Andrew, as a child,
author. Growing up, I always wanted to be a writer. That was always my dream. It was always like I don't know why. I have no idea why. My dream was I want to write Ghostbusters 3, which that was my dream job. Like,
you still could. There hasn't been one yet.
Very true. And I wrote a script for it.
The woman's one, but that's kind of a different universe.
That's a whole other universe kind of thing. And anyways.
Did you write a script for it?
I did, yeah.
Tell us, before we get on to the children's books, what was your concept of Ghostbusters 3?
It was...
I hope Dan Aykroyd's listening, because he's always looking for the next big thing. And if he's drunk on wine, that'd be even better. I'm just checking to see if this is taping. Well, this might be big stuff here.
Like 14 or 15, and I
nudity.
wrote. It started off at the fucking first movie had the most erotic ghost blowjob I've ever seen.
You know what? I'm not the most attracted to Dan Aykroyd, but it's kind of hot. Just the way it slowly unbuttons.
Dun, dun,
I remember being
bulge in his pants.
I remember being very excited by that scene. Yeah, and I'm thinking, I was looking at him differently after that movie. I said, I would.
He slimed it for sure.
But yeah, if you ever see that scene, I thought it was kind of erotic. So anyhow, go on.
Okay, but it is, because we talk about this scene for a second.
Yeah,
it was a little erotic, but it was a little out of the world, out of nowhere too.
It is, but what's wrong with that? It's,
I'm not.
It's like the volleyball scene in Top Gun. It just suddenly there. It's like, let's put that for no reason.
I've never seen Top Gun.
Good Lord. Do I have to sit you down and watch one of the greatest movies of all time? It's in my top 10.
I've probably seen moments of it on TV.
That's not enough.
But Ghostbusters.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. So my script 3, 14-year-old Andrew.
There was a reunion for them. So the busting had all slowed down and there was no more really.
Because they did their job.
Nice. But there was a reunion. They all get together. And then they went down in the basement where the containment unit was. That's where they keep all the ghosts. And they noticed there was been a leak, and it'd been leaking out into the city, kind of thing. And that's where that's the kickoff.
Nice.
I honestly don't remember.
Were they older versions?
Yeah, no, they were.
Did they have kid versions, or did they?
No, they were all the same ones. They were in their.
No, I meant, did they have kids? Not like their kids suddenly.
No, I didn't write anything like that. Honestly, I wonder. I don't think I'm gonna have it. I probably don't have it. It was
interesting.
Yeah.
Do you ever think of doing it again? Because you're still a big Ghostbusters fan. Or do you not? Because the odds of getting the properties would be so
limited.
Yeah.
I mean, I always wanted to do something called Tales from the Trap. Basically, that sounds really gross, but about ghosts, the stories from the ghosts.
I would have hoped that's about fur trapping in the olden days.
It takes place in.
Because you gotta love the term fur trapping. I don't know why. That sounds like, when you do up your zipper too quick and you get your.
I've never fur trapped myself.
Well, you're trimmed. That's why.
That's very true. We've established this already.
I'm like Jungle Jim down there, but. Okay, why are we talking about our pubics? I feel weird. There's an old man walking across right in front of us.
He's probably going to trim it right now.
Actually, there's his wife too. Wow, if they're married, holy shit! You don't think that could be his daughter? Actually,
yeah.
And we're talking like an 80-year-old man and maybe a 40-some-odd woman.
Yeah, good for him.
Well, that's why he's walking like that. Fuck. Okay,
He
sorry.
doesn't even need a cane. He's just using his third
This
member as
doesn't
his...
translate on the radio,
sorry.
but I wish... Oh, I could take a picture. Oh, yeah,
That's probably...
that's inappropriate.
Okay, so I always
Okay,
thought
so-
of having Tales from the Trap. And
Okay,
basically,
I like that idea.
the stories of the ghost. And like, I just had this vivid imagery of the trap opening up, a ghost coming out and like staying in there and then telling its story of how, like, its backstory kind of thing.
Nice.
I always wanted to do something like that.
So the ghost tells the
Yeah, the
story of
ghost
how
of-
he was... That's cool.
So,
See, now that's good. That's a good anthology series.
well, that's
Yeah.
how my mind works.
Now, you said for people who've heard the show before, you were actually a fan of the animated show more than the movies. You love the movies, but
Yeah,
you were won by the animated.
the animated
Because I was shocked by that when you told me that.
and the second one. Even
Yeah,
more
you
than
said
the
you had a
first,
second one. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I thought there was just one, and you were the one who told me there was a second one.
Yeah. And like, I mean, the animated, for anyone who doesn't know it, it's dark. It's a lot darker than you would think what children's cartoons are now, especially. But the stories that they told are just unbelievable. Like, some of the stories were just amazing.
I watched something recently about everything you didn't know about Ghostbusters 2, and there was some interesting tidbits on there, like the fact that nobody really wanted to do it.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
And everybody just did it because they were afraid that the company would just do it anyhow, even though they didn't have any of the actors or anything. And they just said, yeah, let's just do it and get out of the way.
Well, apparently it's the same.
And their
for
heart wasn't in it.
the new one, too. Apparently Bill Murray had to do it because that's in his contract. That if
Oh,
there
that he
is
had
another,
a third. Yeah, really?
If there is another
Because
movie...
he always said that start the movie off with me dying because I don't want to be in another Ghostbusters.
Which
Yeah, he'll
is,
do
like,
2 Garfields, but he complains about being in
You know
Ghostbusters.
what? And that's where, I would have personally rather have seen a movie without his character or him recasting it, because, not to be mean, like, that movie was great, but Bill Murray is Bill Murray, and he's weird in his own way. But Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis were the real geniuses of Ghostbusters. Like, Dan Aykroyd it was his, and Harold Ramis is what really made it normal, let's say, right? So I would have been fully okay without Bill Murray and Ghostbusters.
No, I agree with that. I think he could have been. I always thought it would have been cool if they were like continued the story where they were training new Ghostbusters with a new generation. That's where they could have had the women in.
That's what the
with
cartoon
that.
was.
Yeah, well,
right?
that would be great.
The other cartoon, Extreme
The second one,
Ghostbusters, that was them training a new crew, and that was cool. But I don't know.
What happens? The other thing they said in there that was interesting, that is, if you owned the Ghostbusters... I'm beeping here, don't mind me.
Oh, it's all right.
The Ghostbusters 2 coloring book actually reveals some subplots that weren't in the original Ghostbusters 2 movie.
That I did not know.
Yeah, well, and they also said that some of the likenesses in it are absolutely horrible. Like, it's just like, they don't look like them. But apparently, Dan Aykroyd, there was supposed to be a whole subplot where he actually gets possessed. Well, and it's sort of seen in the movie, but it's not really explained. It just suddenly is there.
Yeah.
But the coloring book apparently tells a different story about how it actually happened and stuff. So before you had like unreleased scenes on DVD, apparently if you bought the coloring book for Ghostbusters 2, it actually reveals little things that were in the script originally but didn't make it onto the screen.
Another interesting Ghostbusters fact, I do believe there is, in the first movie, it was said that they filmed just a quick montage of the car, the Ecto-1, having a police ticket put on it, and then it burns off just because.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
And apparently they filmed that, and it's never been released. But they did say that recently they did find some Ghostbuster footage that they haven't, and apparently because next year will be 35 years, and they're planning this big Ghostbuster thing down in Sony in LA. So
really?
Yeah.
I wonder if Bill Murray will go to that.
Fuck. Let's hope not.
Yeah, I love Bill Murray, but he is a little quirky. I know.
Quirky. And like, don't shit on a movie that made your career better.
Oh, I know.
And it's like,
I know. Like, he has made some horrible movies, and to put down Ghostbusters is ridiculous. Like,
yeah, it's like, come on, buddy. Like,
and that is the movie that kind of leveled to a higher level. Like, he had done stuff like Meatballs and Caddyshack.
Yeah.
So he was on the map. But Ghostbusters,
It brought him to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really
and he was pretty much open to do whatever he wanted. I think he got to do a couple drama films just based on I'll do this comedy if you do this. So, now what is your license plate number?
Oh.
Now, the only reason I'm asking this is you mentioned the deleted scene, or the scene that was never a thing, and I walked out, and I could have sworn, did I just see Ecto?
Well, you know...
But I didn't want to stop because I was so excited to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. So what is your...
Well, I work for the Service Ontario, so I one day was like, I wonder if Ecto... I first was like, well, I wonder if Ecto 1 is... Because you can get Vanity, right? Your own plates. Is available, and Ecto 1 is not available. Now, if it's taken, I don't know, or a lot of times you're not allowed to have property as and so like I say, you couldn't get Bugs Bunny.
But there's that group called the Ghostbusters that it's like they go to Comic-Cons and stuff, and there's like the Ontario Ghostbusters.
Right.
And they've been to, so I'd assume they might have bought
They
that.
might have, or it might be that no one has it, in the sense that they...
True.
A lot of times...
It might be trademarked.
It might be trademarked, so they would take it off. But I do have a F-150 truck, and I was like, well, Ecto 150 makes sense for a truck, and it was available, and let's just say $310 later, I own them.
Nice.
Yeah, so I...
That's good. You could have done Ecto 69.
Well, I think Dan Aykroyd already took that. He took that all from us.
You know how many people are going to be looking that scene up because they've either remember seeing it? Was really that dirty? But
it wasn't that dirty.
It wasn't. It's handled tastefully, but I know what you're saying.
As tastefully as getting a blowjob from a ghost.
Right. Like, why? And he didn't bust that. Well, he
busted. And it made him feel good, but...
Busted a nut.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, where that term came from.
Yeah, just we were saying how bizarre of a term it is.
What? Yeah, where would that term come? Like, I want to bust a nut.
I have no idea.
I'm just talking about this a bit, so Corda has to find pictures for this. For busting a nut? She'll probably find like a coconut or something.
I'm allergic to nuts, so I honestly would not know.
So you would never say, I want to bust a nut on you to a...
No, that would be like
when you date before you got married. Like...
No, I would not. That's not something in my regular... Can I bust a nut on you? No.
Can I spill my sewage? Is that better?
It's a lot better.
Can I sticky your buns? I don't know.
There's all kinds of them.
But where did these things come from? Like, and they came from somewhere. Like,
yeah.
But then when you think about it, where did they invent sexual things? Like, who gave the first blowjob? Can I look that up and find? Did somebody trademark that?
Well, if they did, they would have made a lot of money. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the birthday song. You can't sing happy birthday, right? It's like...
Imagine you had to pay someone every time you, like, did a blowjob or went down on a girl or something like that.
Huh.
This is deep thoughts right now, but I want to know these people. Because don't you want to personally send their generation a
thank you letter?
Yeah, well, like, who's thinking about, like, they're having sex and I'm going to put that in my mouth. Was it cavemen? Like, somebody's taking a piss and I go, I think I want to suck on that.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's the right...
Wait a minute.
Like, anal, I could see. That could have just been an accident.
Yeah.
Somebody could have rolled over in bed and then it slipped in and they said, holy fuck. Tried to get it out, then put it back in and tried to get it out again. And
this is tighter. Sorry.
This is tighter. Not in most cases, but no, I think in most cases. I just think in some. Every time we talk sexual,
I find a photo for that one.
Every time we talk sexual, these old people with a dog always walk by. It's great, yeah. Oh, anyhow, that's. I like. Do you not think about that? Do you ever stop? Oh, I thought these were cops coming. It's a couple of, hey, we just have some old people riding on this most amazing, they're still I think they're waving to us still.
It's a spider, isn't
What's going on, though? Did you see she's hitting on us?
Sure, yeah.
I think
the X
they want to, I think they want to foursome with us.
I love this
thing.
That's a cool bike, though.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, it's a man. Oh my god.
Is it? Oh, it's too. Oh, they think we're. Oh, like, pretend we're like going.
Oh my god. It was a man.
So it's like, oh, they must think we're gay guys. Well, they got one right. You know. Sorry, I was just implying I was jerking him off just to give them a show. Oh, it's nice to see a couple of old guys riding around on motorcycles. Good. Yeah, Corda's going to have nuts looking for pictures of two old guys on a bike. But yeah, so I think about this stuff. I don't know why.
Well, that's a good food for thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we're going to take a break. I think we're going to go out and get a picture.
Sure.
And then when we come back, we'll start heading home, but we're going to still keep talking. I want to talk to you about your childhood, like what kind of stuff you used to watch or that inspired your stories besides Ghostbuster blowjobs and stuff.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so we're going to take a break because I need some air after that. That was just a little crazy seeing... I think we just hit on by a couple of old gay guys. They kept waving at us. They
gave us the thumbs up, too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I would have been doing something more exciting if I saw that, you know. Anyhow, we'll be back after this short break.
New. It's neat.
So easy to eat.
And you can get it right here.
Welcome back. Devlin here with you, and I'm here with my co-host, Andrew Hops. We are now on the move. And so if you hear any bumps or something, I swear we're driving.
Bumps or lumps?
Yeah. Andrew has an appointment, so we're going to finish the rest of this on the road. He has to get, he's getting a model of his penis done.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I think it'd be nice for Brandy if you're not around.
Well, you know.
And, you know, if you're thinking of something for me for a Christmas gift, you could always make two. You might get a discount. That's a rumor. That's going to go around now, that Andrew's got, like, he's making a model of his junk.
That'd be a great rumor to have.
You know what? I've heard that you can go to the stag shops and you can make fleshlights, and you can make, like, it's, I don't know if it's like paper mache around your cock, but you can actually make
really?
a mold of your cock.
Well,
Andrew's got a look right now of, after my appointment, I am totally going to the stag shop. I heard this. Now, I'm not going to say my sources, but somebody told me, somebody I know, and I can just put it out there because people will go look at my past shows and say, who was it? They never mentioned it on the show, but they told me they have had a cast done of their cock.
Well, you know what? In Niagara Falls, you can get your hands done, right? So that would make sense that in a sex shop, they would do molds of members, right?
I couldn't even imagine doing that because you're putting your, what is it, like, what are you putting? Is it like silly putty or?
I don't know. I
hope it's
hot,
like,
though.
Imagine it was paper mache, like you're ripping newspaper and strapping it on your cock. I don't think paper mache would really be like durable.
No, it's probably the old way to do it. Probably in the 70s or the 80s.
Paper mache cock. I bet you it's done. Come on, you're telling me Andy Warhol and all those artists didn't like.
Oh, I'm sure some
dabbled with their cock. Please write in if you've ever made a mold of your cock. Let's get to innocent stuff now, because we're the worst seguers ever. We're going from making casts of your cock to, what did you used to watch when you were a kid? What were your favorite shows as a kid or movies?
Well,
we'll start with shows.
Okay, we'll start with shows. You know, growing up, definitely I was a big TGIF, and that would be...
Okay, the Friday night
lineup with Family Matters.
Full House.
Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step.
Step by Step.
Step by Step. Day by day, Suzanne Summers a fucking cray. She is a little crazy if you don't know Suzanne Summers.
There's a big picture of her right now. Corda's put up. I'm sure of it.
She is a big anti-vaxxer. But anyways, that's a whole other.
What, an anti-vaxxer?
Against the vaccination.
Oh, vaccine! I thought you meant faxers, like she was against fax machines.
No, she probably hates those too, knowing Suzanne Summers, who I don't know.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe she's lovely.
Yeah,
But-
and now he's ruined every chance of her coming on my podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
Because this will be the one. Oh, this looks fun.
I might do this.
I might do this show. What? Cray cray? I'll give him cray cray. She's gonna put that thigh master between your legs and
Oh, she's
go to
just gonna
town.
crush your head.
You had a mold. You're having a mold made of it later on.
Now, what was the fourth on?
Wasn't that the one that they would always like change because it wasn't getting quite as big review?
There was Teen Angel, which lasted
Oh,
one or two seasons.
Wow, that I
remember
sort of
Teen
remember
Angel?
it, but I didn't watch it. No,
Well, it wasn't much to remember.
I do like Full House.
Full House.
What was your favorite part? Did you like the comedians on it, or
A Full House?
yeah? What was that?
No, I think it was just because it was on.
Oh,
Like, I
what was your favorite show? Was that Family
It
Matters?
would probably be Family Matters, yeah.
Were you a
'cause
big Urkel fan?
No, not well. I mean, he was funny, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think in
The show
first,
became Urkel, right?
It became and it became so crazy too.
well,
like, in the
yeah, because
first-
it was a family comedy, right?
Yeah.
And then it like,
But it
didn't
had
they-
like serious moments too, right?
But didn't it do like robots, like?
Well,
of
that's
him?
where it became
Yeah.
crazy. Like it was like he had like these like I don't know.
Watch this kid.
Oh yeah, there's a child. We're gonna hit a
We're
child.
literally talking about our youth, and we almost hit a child. He's fine. He's
We
gonna have
apologize.
many lives. Yeah, he's gonna have many lives. He's gonna have many years left
Many years left.
because we just missed him. But
I'm trying to think.
I can't remember. There was many of those fourth shows because I think they changed it up a lot.
I mean, Step by Step was good.
Okay, and what about like cartoon shows? You mentioned Extreme Ghostbusters several times.
Like real Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
Extreme Ghostbusters. Oh my god, for cartoons, jeez.
Did you watch a lot of TV?
No, not overly.
No.
I never was like a big into. Like I never watched it a lot.
What about movies? Did you watch a lot of movies?
Comedy movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Name some of your favorites that are off your head.
God, what about Bob?
Well,
Remember What About Bob?
yeah, Bill Murray and Richard Dreyfuss. Yeah,
I just started naming all Bill Murray movies.
I was about to say you just put. You were like,
him.
you know, I'm tired of Bill Murray, but here's all my favorite movies of him.
Well, I can't say Groundhog Day now, but.
Well, you can. That's a great movie.
Oh my gosh. Putting me on the spot. Should have thought of this one.
I'm obviously putting you on the spot. What do you think? You're an improv artist. You
I
should
am.
be ready. Do you remember the first movie you like wanted to own, like on VHS
It was
or DVD?
Ghostbusters 2, honestly, and that's not like
Ghostbusters 2 or
Ghostbusters.
as well?
no Ghostbusters 2.
Okay.
No,
Well,
yeah,
you didn't own the first one? You went right to the second one?
yeah. The first one was too scary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found it
Because
very
the blowjob?
Well, I wasn't technically. I wasn't born technically when the first one even came out, right? So, and I would
Oh,
have been.
thanks. Make me feel old. I saw it in the theater, and I was definitely a teen. Wow, I'm that much older than you.
Well, I was 4 when the second one came
Oh,
out.
yeah, we won't talk about how old I was.
Yes.
I think when the second one came out, I think I was out of high school.
I think my favorite story, one of my favorite stories you ever said was you were watching the second one at the movie or something, and
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson came on and people started cheering.
Oh,
for him.
yeah. Like, his whole family was there that week.
It just makes me happy.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good movies around that time and stuff.
I think I like Dick Tracy a lot, actually. The old
That movie?
yeah.
I like Dick Tracy. I love when we give shout outs to like unusual things. Yeah, I thought it's one of Madonna's best roles.
Oh, she was great.
And I actually, people probably hate me for this, but I actually think her album, I'm Breathless, is one of her best albums where they play a whole bunch of her songs that she did in the Dick Tracy and then other ones in that style. I love that she did that.
I loved his watch.
Yeah, yeah.
His and like as a child, I had a watch. I had one, and I lost it, and it was so traumatizing that I
Oh.
spent years looking for years.
Did you ever
And then-
find it?
No, but my brother Lewis, my eldest brother, about 3 years ago for Christmas, bought me a Dick Tracy watch that like from
Oh.
my childhood, yeah, and I still have it.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
I was a big Dick Tracy fan. Oh, you know what? Another cartoon. Here we go. Lay the smack down. Get ready for this. Shit your pants. Darkwing Duck. Do you remember?
Oh, yes, I do. I wasn't a regular watcher, But I'm happy that you watched that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I liked Darkwing Duck. It was different. It was dark. It was good. And then I liked the gargoyles too.
Gargoyles? Yeah, I like the drawings of them.
Yeah, they were very.
I actually thought it was well drawn.
Yeah.
That must have been a little bit scary for you, though.
I was older.
Older then, yeah.
I was older at that point.
Do you like going back to things that you used to watch when you were a kid? Because I know some people can't do it. They just they try to watch it and they're like, oh, I like this. Because I can watch crap and say, yeah, I like this when I was a kid, and I can get joy of it still. But
you know what? Like, I own the two seasons of Darkwing Duck, truth be told.
Yeah.
And I do own all the Ghostbuster cartoons, so that's obvious.
There you go. So
I can watch it, and I think they're great. They are great quality for their time too. We got to keep in mind too. Now it's like the visuals that for cartoons are so different, and they're so like beyond what we were used to, right?
Yeah.
Even watching The Simpsons is weird. I find watching a new episode of The Simpsons where they're 3D animation, but it's just like I find it so crazy because it's so crisp and so vibrant, and you're like, wow, it's still a cartoon. Whereas when we watched The Simpsons when it first came out, it was
very crude.
Very crude and very, very 2D, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Another thing, I hate to keep going back to Ghostbusters because we get no money whatsoever. Oh, yeah, I know you're
Don't hate that.
Yeah, we have your leg pictures to prove it, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Is one thing that they said about Ghostbusters 2, and I don't know, you probably analyze all of it. Do you know that Ghostbusters 2, if you watch it, it's actually more inspired by the cartoon show than the original series?
Yeah.
The original movie. Like, even Annie Potts has got, like, that red hairdo, which she had in the cartoon series. She didn't have it in the first movie.
No, they changed it.
Slimer is a friend of theirs, which is more of the TV series rather than the thing. So, yeah, I was shocked at that, too. And then I realized, I haven't seen Ghostbusters 2 in a while. I'm going to have to rewatch it.
It is true. Because the cartoon spawned such a huge outpour of stuff, and like toys included, right? Like
the toys were huge.
Oh my god!
Well, you still own the toys.
I still own the toys, and I still collect them. And, and I try to find very rare versions of toys that. Yeah. And I've spent way too much money on toys, right? And I own a lot, and when I say a lot, I almost own.
You sent me a picture, I believe. I'm going to see if I can find that.
Well, I can send you more pictures. I
think people listening to this would like to see your collection. If you're okay to share that with us.
I'm okay with that. I'm proud of it. It's actually
is.
It's a nice collection too. Like I own all the stuff that I own is all in the box and the original packaging, never been opened. So it's And
I gave you that little golden.
You gave me the
book.
Ghostbuster book that is a part of my collection.
Did you know that was a thing?
I had honestly, I was amazed when you showed me that.
Yeah, that little golden book series, they've come out with like versions of big Hollywood movies, and when I saw Ghostbusters, I said, I know somebody who should get that.
Yeah, and I didn't even know this existed.
Oh yeah, they have done all the Star Wars movies. I think they've done like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff, like kid-friendly versions of a slasher film. That's always good. But
that's cool. But and this is a little bit of a segue, but that's a great way of a company like that. Company who's known for their children's books rebranding themselves, right? And like saying, well, how the hell are we staying important? Right. Or like Monopoly.
Because they can make their new stories, but it's cool that the kids that used to read those books as a kid now can see their favorite movies in that style.
For sure.
Monopoly is everything, it's crazy. We had a games night recently where it was a lot of fun, and then the only Monopoly I could find that I had was like Star Wars Monopoly, and it's like, I actually think I want to get the original Monopoly, or as close to the original as I can get. It's just weird playing like Golden Girls Monopoly. Like, what are you
Golden Girls?
No, I don't think that. I think they have
that's Golden Showers Monopoly.
I think they have a clue. Who ate the cheesecake? It's not murder, though. It's like,
Who shit themselves?
It's crazy. You go to buy Monopoly now, and you can buy, Supernatural. You can buy, like, Elvis.
My mom owns a
Jurassic
version
Park.
of Jurassic Park. No, she owns one of the original Monopoly games. They're all wood pieces. It's all like handcrafted wood pieces. The box is still in great shape. And
I ask the hard-hitting questions.
Please
If we
do.
were going to whip out Monopoly right now, what piece would you grab for? And
Well,
we're going
okay,
by the old
I'm-
style because they've gotten rid of some of the old ones to replace them with like dinosaurs and cats.
I'm going by what I would, because when we would play as a family, like there was like, you know how everyone got one, and it was always, they would always get that one. So
Yeah.
you couldn't get, no, because that belongs to him.
Right,
That
right.
belongs to him.
Yeah.
So I do believe I would get either the iron,
Oh,
yeah,
that's sad.
or the
That's almost child
or the
abuse.
car. There was the car
The
too.
car's okay.
Yeah,
the car's okay.
It was often gone.
Yeah, when you got the iron or the thimble, that's almost like veering on child abuse, I think, because nobody wants to be the iron.
No.
I think I'd want to be the iron more than the thimble, though.
But what was like? What were the originals? The iron, the
Top
thimble,
hat.
the top hat,
The car.
the car. There was what, 6?
Wasn't there a horse and a jockey? Why am I remembering like a horse, like he was up on 2 legs?
Maybe because we were talking about my shaft. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Was there someone on a horse? Is that what you were saying?
Do you like being the banker?
No, I hated being the
Yeah,
banker.
okay.
I hated being the banker.
Because you know there's always that one guy that has to be the banker.
That was my brother.
And then sometimes you're like, I don't trust him as the banker, but I can't really say anything because I don't want to be the fucking banker.
Yeah, I know. Because it was like a
Are
thankless
you good
job.
at Monopoly? I love that we're having this detailed conversation about Monopoly. It's monopolizing our podcast now.
I wasn't bad.
Did you ever remember winning one?
Oh yeah,
I came
fucking
close,
right.
but I
won
don't.
that thing.
Fucking. This sounds like a life goal.
No,
like your bucket list. If I don't win a fucking Monopoly, I'm just leaving now.
I was hardcore in the sense, like, when I played, like, I was all in. I would invest, like, in every property I landed on. I would invest and invest.
And you would buy those ones, like, you know, you knew somebody had 2 of that color.
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, oh, I'm getting that one for deals.
Yeah, I would. It was a fun game. I personally prefer.
And did you go under the table and do like little, like, I'll give you this and that?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, yeah.
You-
You got to play Monopoly
You gotta.
like
That's
that, yeah.
that's all about part of the fun, like striking these, like.
Yeah, I always
deals.
feel my deals were weak, though. My brother and, like, my older brother, Ernie, we always joke when we used to play Risk, because I'd always tell my friends that my brother, Ernie, was amazing at Risk, and they'd always be like, oh, I got to play him, because I'm really good at that. You've played Risk.
Oh,
before,
yes.
yeah. And I said, well, you got to understand something. If he doesn't win, you're going to play another game. So if you're starting a game at 10 o'clock, expect to stay overnight, because if he loses at 2:30, that game is being reset. And so you're competitive like that?
No, not to,
No?
not to that extreme. Excuse me. I was never big into Risk, to be honest.
Yeah.
And like when we played board games, it wasn't often. So it wasn't too often. I do
What
have some fun.
Do you have a favorite game board? A game board? Okay. The actual board, fuck the game. No,
I just love this game.
I know the game
board.
board. Well, that would be Life, because Life has that
No,
wheel.
you know which game was my favorite, and I
What?
never even owned it, but my neighbor had it.
What is it?
The Mousetrap game, because it was
Mousetrap.
so fucking wild.
But
It's like,
did anybody play it? I think everybody just made the Mousetrap, didn't they?
Yeah,
Did you
no,
ever
I-
actually play it? Because I remember
No,
I
I
got it and we just built the Mousetrap.
By the time you fucking set this thing up, it was like an hour. You're like, okay.
Well,
this
isn't
is-
that part of the game?
Oh, is it? I don't know.
I think so. So you
I've
just
never
built
played
the
it. I just liked it. It looked cool.
It is, and it's cool, and it's still out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's funny because we tried a whole bunch of board games from our past. Some don't translate as well. Like I couldn't believe how much I love playing Trouble again.
Oh,
You know, with the Pop-O-Matic
Yeah.
dice. We were like a bunch of adults. And
Pop-O-Matic dice. That's a fucking name.
Yeah, because it was in that.
No, I know, but that's like that'd be like a great DJ name.
Yeah, Pop-O-Matic dice.
Pop-O-Matic dice, yo.
But, like, I couldn't believe how much fun I was having. It's such a simplistic game, but then it was funny because we brought out Operation.
Oh, God.
Not quite as fun. In fact, I want to say something to the newer generation. This game was hard before. They have literally changed this game so it's easier. I don't care. I remember it was anxiety inducing. Remember? Because they actually now in new versions have, like, you can turn that off.
Oh, that's stupid.
So his nose lights up, but you don't get an electrical shock through your bowels.
Of the game.
Yeah. No.
I remember playing that game with my grandmother, my mom's mom, and like we were like howling when she would do it because she was like this old proper, like what you would imagine.
Oh my!
Oh yeah, honestly, like just what you imagine like an old, beautiful old grandmother would look like, and she'd get so excited, and then I would play another one of my favorites.
I like Andrew's getting a laugh out of his grandmother getting electrocuted by
it was fun. It was so fun,
yeah.
like as kids, right? And then the other one was Don't Wake Daddy.
I don't remember this.
Oh,
one.
it's.
Is this a game your mom just told you to like? Oh, there was a board game.
No, it wasn't.
Okay,
it was a board game. Yeah.
I thought this was like some, don't wake. We're gonna play that game, boys and girls.
No, we don't upset Dad.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Don't Wake Daddy is a game where there's a giant bed on the board, like a giant fucking bed. The father is like, in like. Obviously, the game is not to scale. Put it that way.
Before you continue, I got to make a comment that Andrew and I both said that we're trying to cut down on our swearing.
Oh, yeah.
And we're swearing like a couple of nuns on Sunday right now. Okay, so giant fucking bed, if I recall.
A giant, huge bed, and you have to like go around the game board. You're the children, and you have to press this button, and like the father will fucking sit up like a friggin' Yeti.
Wow.
And like he scares the shit out of you when he did. And I remember playing this game with my grandmother too, and we would put the hat right on his face so that when he would sit up, the hat would fly at her too. Like it was a fun game, but it was really like scary.
Yeah.
And it was like the father was gigantic.
One of my favorite kids growing up, you won't remember this is before your time, but there was an old movie once called Jaws.
Oh, I remember.
And there was a game that had this big plastic shark, and you'd put all this junk in his mouth, and it would hold the flap of his mouth up, and you'd have to take like this thing that looked like a knitting needle, and you had to like pick up pieces of garbage. No, you don't sew up his mouth. This ain't the human centipede game. And you'd have to pick out garbage, and every time you take one, it's loosening his jaw, so eventually he's gonna snap, and that's supposed to be you getting like eaten, and you're out of the game.
Hungry Hippo.
Yes.
Wow, if this is a game, this is turning into quite the game one. But
I love it.
Really?
I'm into board games again. A friend of mine, Damien, who I do the reviews with, he suggested we do a classic game night, and we all brought our games together, and it was fun.
Oh, I can imagine.
In
honestly.
fact, we got into like not only trouble, but I couldn't believe how many of my friends had never played dominoes.
Really?
This used to be a thing with me. I remember playing with my grandmother dominoes, and trust me, I didn't do much with my grandmother. She was not a nice person, but when we played dominoes, she actually smiled occasionally. They never played it, but now we actually have nights where we actually say, why don't you come over? We'll do an hour of dominoes. And I'm like, this is totally our senior years already happening here.
When my grandmother gets sick, my mom's mom, like I would have to go spend time with her because my mom was doing classes, getting her university and something, and my grandmother couldn't be alone, so I would go spend time with my grandmother, and we would play board games together.
Nice.
And like those are probably my fondest board game memories, just
nice.
because like it was time I get to spend with her, and like she passed away a few years after, but like those are always like, you know what? Like they're simple. Like, we played cards. We would play cards a lot too.
Yeah, my family was cards obsessed. Euchre, canasta.
And there's one board game I don't know what it's called, but it's an actual wood board game, and there's marbles that you.
Chinese checkers.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
I don't know.
That sounds like Chinese checkers.
Yeah.
My
mom's coming tomorrow.
Of course, in China they just call it checkers, I think, but because they wouldn't call it Chinese checkers.
That would be ironic. No.
Well, I used to have a Chinese friend, and after improv, we'd all try to figure out where to go, and it's like, let's go to Chinese food. And he'd always say, well, we just call it food, but sure. But, no, I think board games is making a comeback. I've talked about it on my podcast before, but never like in depth like this. This is great.
Oh,
but even at Value Village, I noticed people buying like the classics, like Candyland and Hungry Hippos, like you said, and Yahtzee and
Hungry
stuff.
Hippo was fun. It was like madness. Though.
Well, I just recently bought Life, which is one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever played that, where you have babies and stuff.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. You buy insurance, which is funny now because that's what we do as adults.
I know, it's like...
You know, so I don't know if Life translates, but we bought one just in case we play it, we gotta buy insurance. Yeah, don't we do that in real life? But I guess it's fun as kids because we get to be grown-ups and like, oh my God, you've got a lot of kids. What are you guys doing in that car? But you got that spinner was awesome. And I recently bought Yahtzee because I remember...
Yahtzee is fun.
Yahtzee is fun.
Yahtzee is
The only thing that's not fun that my friends have found...
Nazis.
They don't...
This sounds like Yahtzee.
That's the German version. You run 5 swastikas and you... Nazi! That's really wrong, and my German relatives have just disowned me.
They probably had... No.
But you know what? I used to remember, but we played it recently because I bought it. Because I remember I used to go camping with this family. I actually want to do a podcast segment about it because I have great moments of going camping with this family. And I remember on rainy days, we'd crank out the Yahtzee because it was a nice small board and stuff. And I loved it. But as older, I noticed that Mike and Corda and I were all playing it. And we had a great time. But how many times we were like, I found out I'm actually the best one at math. Like, because a couple times I had to check. Yeah, no, you're out here.
One game I was never a fan of was Scrabble, just because I was a horrible speller.
Yeah, I like it, but I'm not good at it.
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
People can put these big words like abortion, and then I'm like, I put like yes, Okay, maybe abortion. I think you need a lot more letters than for that.
Yeah, you'd probably need to quit for that.
There should be an erotic Scrabble game where you can just do dirty words.
I'm sure there's gotta be.
No, I swear, if somebody says you want to play Scrabble, and I'm like, yes, and then if they go like to get the game, and then I see they actually have a Scrabble dictionary, I'm like, yeah, I gotta go actually.
Yeah.
If they're already like been reading, they're in their spare time, they're actually like reading these games and stuff. So.
Oh, I agree. And there's some people that are, they don't even need that type of thing. They're just so there.
Here's a great little story before we get to my place. Corda, my producer, she already knows what this is going to lead to. When she was teaching my niece, when she was a little girl, to do word finds, I remember watching her, and it was so charming. It was a sweet moment. Like, and you find this word, it says yellow, you look for yellow. And then she goes, and then, for extra fun, once you find all the words, you can go in and find other words. And I looked at her, and I go, what are you, a nerd? You finished the words there. You don't just go looking for random words. It has nothing to do with the topic. Corda likes that, so she'll love that I shared that. And it's probably not the first time. Anyhow, I got to do a quick wrap-up because Andrew's got to go get his mold made of his junk. And I'm spreading that rumor big time.
Well,
so I'm going to be checking what your vases look like if I ever come over to your houses. Because if it looks like something with big nuts and this gigantic shaft with some lilies on the top. Why lilies?
I don't know. Well, we're looking for tulips.
Anyhow, we're coming... This is weird, wrapping up a show as I'm driving into the driveway of my apartment building. It is cool. Andrew, it was so wonderful to see you, and we had a nice talk before this, and a great talk here for everybody who can enjoy us.
I'm always very honored, and I always have such a blast with you, so thank you so much for having me. And
we're going to have to find a really strange TV show or movie and then just tape our commentary. Like live, because you haven't seen a lot of things, and I'd love to see your reaction to certain things. But I had a blast, and we're gonna wrap it up now, so Andrew can actually turn into the driveway, and we don't get into an accident or run any children over again.
Wow!
No, that kid was fine. I swear, we should have took a picture of him.
He was asking for it.
Anyhow, Andrew, we'll talk to you next week, and thank you for doing the podcast on the run with me.
Thank you.
All right.